Okay, so chapter 13 onwards, the last 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, Jnana Yoga. Chapter 13 is nature, enjoyer, and consciousness. Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. So in this chapter, Krishna tells how to live in this material world. Or say technically, Bhagavad Gita has ended by 12th chapter. The 12th chapter is devotional service, and if bhakti is the highest principle that Bhagavad Gita is teaching, if Lord Krishna is teaching bhakti as the highest principle, then technically Bhagavad Gita has ended by chapter 12, Bhakti Yoga. That's the name of the title, the name of the chapter, devotional service. But even while practicing Bhakti Yoga, we still have to live in this material world. So that's why Krishna gives knowledge of this material world starting from chapter 13 onwards, so that we can know how this material world functions, how the matter functions, and how the 3 modes of material nature influence us, and how we can transcend these 3 modes, how we can deal with the material world, how we can deal with the matter. So that's what Krishna is going to teach from chapter 13 onwards. So chapter 13, it tells us the obstacle from within. When we are practicing Bhakti Yoga, there will be 2 obstacles, one from inside, one from outside. The obstacle from inside or obstacle within is the enjoying propensity, is our enjoying propensity. We want to enjoy separate from Krishna. That's a problem. So Bhagavad Gita does not instruct us not to enjoy, but that enjoyment also should be in line with Krishna. It should be along with Krishna. It should be along with Krishna. Just like a child, when they grow to teenage and after they go to college, they go out and but the father or mother, they want to do things with the child, and then they think that if the child also does all those activities along with the parents, the child will be happy and the parent also will be happy. So it's good for the parent, good for the child. But the child chooses to enjoy separately, from the parents. So that enjoying propensity to enjoy away from Krishna, enjoy separate from Krishna, is the biggest obstacle from within, from inside. And then chapter 14, nature. Chapter 14 is the 3 modes of material nature. Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. So Krishna explains how the 3 modes of material nature, mode of passion, ignorance, and ignorance, how they operate, how they influence us to do all the activities in the material world, and how one can transcend these 3 modes. Mode of goodness is good. It's better than mode of passion and ignorance, but still higher than mode of goodness is mode of pure goodness, the Vishuddha Sattva. Higher than mode of goodness is pure goodness, mode of the Vishuddha Sattva. So Krishna explains what are the qualities, symptoms of a person in the mode of passion, ignorance, and goodness. And he also explains how one comes in contact with matter from spiritual world, how a person comes in contact with the matter, and how he becomes subject to the influences of the 3 modes of material nature. Okay. And then chapter 15. So is there anything else from chapter 14, Ashok? Any other points from chapter 13 or 14? So chapter 14, this is the obstacle from outside. The 3 modes of nature, it's the obstacle from outside. So the obstacle from within or inside is the enjoying propensity, as described in chapter 13. And the obstacle from outside is the three modes of material nature.
I think we are good, Prabhuji. You covered most of the points from 13 and 14 chapters.
Okay, Aparna has some notes. So she's telling something.
We were talking about how to, killing the snake and how the doubt is the enemy to killing that.
Yeah, that's chapter 15.
Oh, 15.
15.
Okay.
Yeah, chapter 15.
Chapter.
You wrote in chapter 14?
I wrote the end of 14, maybe I meant.
Okay, so you just put an arrow now.
Yes.
That's what we used to do in school days, right?
End of space, maybe that's one.
Sometimes we had to put an arrow that is after several pages, or an arrow pointing back to previous 5 or 6 pages back.
Okay.
So then we used to draw a long arrow throughout all the pages and then end the arrow mark there. So, yeah. Okay, yeah, chapter 15. Chapter 15, Purushottam Yoga, Yoga of the Supreme Person. So, Krishna tells how one can overcome these two obstacles, obstacle from within and obstacle from outside. How one can overcome these two obstacles is by acquiring knowledge. So you acquire knowledge by asking questions. Asanga shastrena drudena chitva. So you cut the serpent of the doubt with a sword of weapon, with the weapon of knowledge. You cut the doubt with the weapon of knowledge, and then you can overcome these two obstacles: obstacle from within and obstacle from outside. So questions like, how did I come to the material world? What's my purpose in life? How is this material world working? Why am I suffering? All those things, you ask all these questions, and then you progress to higher stage. Krishna describes this material world with an upside down banyan tree, with its roots upward and the branches downward. And if one cultivates divine qualities, they progress to the higher branches and eventually to the roots. They go back to the roots. And if one cultivates demoniac qualities or bad qualities, they go down the path and they are pushed down to the hellish planets. That's chapter 15. Chapter 15 has a lot of beautiful verses where Krishna tells how he is maintaining this entire world, how he is maintaining all the planets. Gama Vishyacha Bhutani Dharayan Ahamojasa. Krishna tells, I maintain all these planets with my presence, and I supply the juice to the fruits and vegetables. So he becomes the moon, Krishna becomes the moon and supplies juice to the fruits and vegetables. And then Krishna also tells in the next verse, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashritaha Pranayana Samayitva Pranapana Samayitva Pranayana Pachan. Something, I forgot that second line. Okay, so Krishna says, I am the digestive fire in every living entity. So we need the Jataragni, the hydrochloric acid, to digest any food that we eat. Krishna is saying, I am that fire. So like that, Krishna is telling some of his opulences again here, so that we can see how we can see Krishna's presence in this material world in various things. And in the end, towards the end of 15 chapter, 15.15, Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishto Matta Shmutir Jnanam Apohanam Cha Vedaischa Sarvair Ahameva Vedyo Vedanta Krit Veda Videva Chaham. Krishna tells, from him comes, he is situated in everyone's heart as Paramatma, and from him comes knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. So anything that you want to remember about Krishna, It's only because of Krishna. Krishna has to give the ability so that you can remember Krishna. And if you want to forget Krishna also, Krishna has to give the forgetfulness. If you want to enjoy separately from Krishna, Krishna has to give the forgetfulness. And Krishna has to give knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. All these three things come from Krishna. And Krishna is the compiler of the Vedas. And he is the essence of all the Vedas. And he is the goal of the Vedic knowledge. Krishna says, I'm the compiler of the Vedas, and from these Vedas, I am to be known. He is the knower of the Vedas. Okay. And then chapter 16. Chapter 16, divine and demoniac qualities. Divine and demoniac qualities.
The other name for this chapter.
Chapter 16. Daiva Asura Sampat Vibhaga Yoga. Daiva Asura Sampat Vibhaga Yoga. Daiva Asura Sampat Vibhaga Yoga. Daiva is demoniac. Asura or Asuric is demoniac. And Sampada is asset. Anything belonging to Daiva or Asuras, that's the asset, the property, the qualities, the divine and demoniac qualities. So Krishna, in this chapter, first he describes the divine qualities and then demoniac qualities. So what is a divine quality and demoniac quality? So we discussed this last week. Divine quality is to see divinity in everyone and everything, and to see divinity as the cause of everything. To see divinity as the origin of everything. And the opposite of that is demoniac. So demoniac people, they think this entire creation came about by chance. Came about by chance, and there's no God. There's no life after death. There is one sloka in chapter 16 where Krishna explains the mentality of demoniac people. Mentality of demoniac people. And then what else did we discuss from chapter 16? Chapter 16, so divine and demoniac qualities, we discussed how these divine and demoniac qualities degraded from Satya Yuga to Treta Yuga to Dwapar Yuga to Kali Yuga. In Satya Yuga, there were no demons in the same country or in the same planet. There were no demons in the same planet. In the Earth planet, there were no demons. The demons existed in a different planet. Okay. And then next Yuga, Treta Yuga, demons and demoniac and divine and demoniac people, they existed in the same planet, but different countries. Okay. Treta Yuga, Rama in Ayodhya, that's one country, and Ravanasura, different country, Lanka. And then next Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, divine and demoniac qualities, they existed in the same country, but different cities. Same country, but different cities. Madura and Vrindavan, Krishna, and then, Madura, Kamsa, and Dwaraka and Vrindavan, Krishna. Okay. And then further degradation in Kali Yuga, they are living in both divine and demoniac people, they are living in the same city. Same city, same body actually. Within the same body, there are divine and demoniac qualities. So each person, they behave divinely at some time, and they behave like a demon at other times.
Sounds like bipolar. That's good.
Bipolar disease. Bipolar disease. Yeah. So just before this class, I had another class, the DYS, Discover Yourself class. Usually every week it happens from 11 to 1 in the morning, and I go to Bothal and teach there. But today I invited all of them to my home. So they all came here, 2 to 4, and the class just ended. They all left. So there, one lady was telling, you were talking about these three modes actually, mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. I have been telling them how the modes fluctuate within each person, how the modes fluctuate. They start with mode of goodness in the morning, and then as the day starts, mode of passion, and then as the evening approaches, mode of ignorance. And then they keep fluctuating throughout the day. So that lady was asking, but if we see a person, they are nice during our, conversation, isn't that enough to figure out that they are good person? Then I said, no, what's the guarantee that they have the same behavior in the background? What you see is not the true nature of that person, right? So in front of you, the person may be acting all good, but behind the scenes, he may be a nonsensical person. So even the people from Brahmin caste, the Brahminical people, they also have mode of passion and mode of ignorance. So they also have the demoniac qualities. So every good person has demoniac qualities, and every demoniac person also has little bit of good qualities. Yeah.
It reminds me of like those, wife abuser people in the morning they're going to office and acting like, big head of some company.
Yeah.
Such a good work, but
Yeah.
at home, like drinking and hitting the kids.
Abusing.
Abusing.
Yeah. 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 And at workplace, they are glorified, right?
Glorified.
They're glorified, they're rewarded, awarded.
Right. And they function normally.
Yeah.
And they go home, they drink, and like, it just goes down.
Yeah.
With COVID, I think you're seeing a lot of that. A lot of talk about COVID.
Yeah. Because at home, they don't have anything else to do, and they need some kind of enjoyment. So, yeah. 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 So like that, the dharma has degraded from Satya Yuga to Treta, Dwapara, and Kali Yuga. So in Kali Yuga, the divine and demoniac qualities are present in the same body.
But then how will we ever know if something's good?
How will we know?
How will we know? Like if they're not a Krishna conscious, or you think if a Krishna conscious person hopefully is more better qualities.
Yeah.
Then how will we know if someone is truly, or do we always assume that everyone is the one at the time?
So we can't assume everyone is divine. At the same time, we can't assume everyone is demoniac. Okay. So even the devotees who are practicing Krishna consciousness, okay, so they also come with a baggage of demoniac qualities. Okay. So likewise, the demoniac qualities, they also have some amount of good qualities. So we cannot assume everyone to be divine, or we cannot assume everyone to be demoniac. So we have to take time and judge people by their behavior, and yeah, it's mostly by their behavior we have to judge.
Part of it is blind faith then, right?
You start with faith, yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have any other option. Unfortunately, we don't have any other option saying that, okay, this person has a stamp, divine. This person has a stamp, demoniac. I wish it was so easy.
That's how trust issues come from.
Trust issues. Yeah.
You can never trust anyone.
You can never trust anyone. And that's the nature of Kali Yuga, right? Hypocrisy. There are two qualities in Kali Yuga: quarrel and hypocrisy. So Quarrel, we see it all the time. But hypocrisy is something that is that you cannot see very easily. Because a person may be so good with you in the front, when you are talking, person may be so good, just like how I am being so.
I said good. Don't scare me like that.
So, but what that person's behavior or attitude, what that person's character in the back, behind the scenes, yeah, that only time will reveal. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, at the same time, you should not be disappointed, discouraged that it's difficult to, it's almost impossible to deal with people, and we can't trust anyone. So we don't have to be discouraged or disappointed like that. So when you are in the association of like-minded people, like for example, devotee association or any association, when you are in the association of like-minded people, we have some assumptions, that they follow these rules and regulations. Like a soldier who is in the army, who is getting trained in the army, who is practicing to become a real soldier, to be able to fight in the war. So he must obey the rules of the training. He must obey the rules of that regiment. Otherwise, he'll be pushed out of the regiment, pushed out of the training, and he's not qualified to become a soldier. So like that, when we are in the association of devotees in Krishna consciousness, we assume that all these like-minded people, they are good people. They are following these rules and regulations. We start with that assumption. And obviously, people have some anarthas. People have some anarthas, some samskaras coming from past life. They may exhibit those qualities sometimes, or sometimes they may not exhibit those qualities in front of everyone. In other words, they may exhibit those qualities in front of the family members, or close circle of friends, but they may not exhibit those in front of larger audience. Okay, so as long as it is because of the anarthas that are coming from past life, samskaras coming from past life, that they are behaving in certain way. At the same time, if they are remembering Krishna and practicing Krishna consciousness, then it is perfectly fine, because nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect, and we are all practicing devotees. So we all come with good and bad baggages. but as long as they are remembering Krishna and practicing the regulative principles, the 4 regulative principles, and then practicing Navavida Bhakti, the 9 processes of devotional service, then it is fine. Even in Bhagavad Gita, there is a shloka. Krishna says, so actually, let me pull up that verse. Yeah, this one. So 9.31, chapter 9, verse 31. Kshipram bhavanti dharmatma, kshipram bhavati dharmatma, shashvat chantim nigacchati. Kaunteya pratijanihi, name bhakta pranashyati. So here, I think the one before also then. Okay, 1 second. Okay, let me get my. Yeah, 9.30 actually. Yeah, I was right in the beginning. 9.30. So 9.30. Apichet suduracharo bhajate mam ananya bhak. Sadur eva samantavya samyak vyavasito hi saha. So, Aparna, you want to read the translation?
Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination.
Yeah. So here, even if one commits the most abominable action. So here, Krishna is referring to a devotee, a practicing devotee. Even if one commits the most abominable action, he's referring to a devotee, practicing sadhaka. So Krishna is saying, even if such a person, such a devotee, commits the most abominable action. So what can be an abominable action? The most abominable action. No. What is that? Oh, okay. So I donated some money long back ago, right? Yes, yes. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. In some school fundraising or something. So it was almost a month ago or 2 months ago. I don't even remember. Yeah. Yeah. So, so what can be an abominable or most abominable action?
I mean, like hurting someone, Prabhuji.
Hurting someone? No.
Yeah,
Yeah, very good.
abominable.
Did you read there or?
No, I didn't.
Okay, okay. Then you have all the knowledge. You have all the
Discuss these guys also, like all the sins and all the first chapter we discussed about that.
Yes, yes. Yeah, we discussed. Yeah, during the first chapter also. Correct. So the most abominable action is killing a Brahmana, killing a child, killing the wife of Guru, um, something like that. These are the examples of most abominable action. So Krishna is saying, even if a devotee does such a most abominable action, but if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. So,
abominable means what is that? Extreme bad or something?
oh, Venugopal, you joined. Okay. Hare Krishna. How are you?
I'm good, Prabhu.
Yeah. Yeah. So abominable means, yeah, bad. Forbidden action. Yeah, forbidden
Okay.
action. Yeah. Sinful activity.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm not sharing the screen. Okay, let me share. Venugopal and Rahul also has joined. Rahul, you joined?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. How are you?
I'm doing good, Prabhuji. How about you?
Yeah, good. Oh, Sapan Kumar also joined. Hare Krishna, Sapan, how are you?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I'm good, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining. So here in the room we have Aparna.
Krishna.
So other people, either they are traveling or, they are sick, or they are shopping, they are partying, different things. So, okay. So, so online people, do you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So in this verse, Krishna is saying here that even if a person commits most abominable action, he is still to be considered a saintly person because he is situated in his sadhana. But here Krishna is talking about some accidental fall downs, not intentional mistakes. Okay, these are accidental fall downs, accidental mistakes. So now, after reading this verse, one should not think that, oh, Krishna is saying even if I kill a child, I have the license. Because Krishna is saying even if I kill a child, I'm saintly. So no, Krishna is talking about occasional fall downs here, because we all come with some baggage from the samskaras from past life. So because of that, if somebody performs an abominable action, but very soon he realizes that and repents about it, feels guilty about it, and he is situated in practicing Krishna consciousness, he is situated in remembering Krishna, then he is considered saintly. So like that, Aparna, you're asking, right? How do we know if a person is good or not? So yeah, even the divine people, even the devotees who are practicing Krishna consciousness, they also have some bad qualities. But as long as they are not affecting us, we are no way to judge them. It's between Krishna and them. It's between Krishna and them. And the moment we see that it is affecting us, then we maintain distance with them. Yeah. So, and even in
I have a
within,
question.
yeah, sure.
So can you scroll down a bit?
Okay.
Yeah, living entities conditioned. He has two kinds of activities. One is conditional and other is constitutional. So can
Yeah.
you explain conditional and constitutional?
Yeah. So we have all the living entities. We have two dharmas, paradharma and parodharma, conditional and constitutional. Conditional, another word for conditional is occupational duty. And one is occupational duty and the other one is constitutional duty. So what is our constitutional position, or what is our original position? In the spiritual world, our constitutional position or our true nature is to serve Krishna. Krishna is the master and we are all servants serving Krishna in different relations. A person can serve Krishna in Vatsalya Rasa with parental affection. A person can serve Krishna as a friend in Sakya Rasa. A person can serve Krishna as a servant in Dasya Rasa. A person can serve Krishna in Madhurya Rasa as a conjugal lover, as a husband or lover, like all the gopis and Radharani did. So, person can serve Krishna in different rasas. That is our original constitutional position. That's the constitutional position of the living entity. Living entity means the soul. But when the soul falls down from the spiritual world into the material world, then while living in the material world, we have to perform some duties in the material world. Like a husband has to perform his duties, a wife has to perform her duties, and within the occupations, a teacher has to perform his or her duties, a software engineer has his or her duties, a politician has their duties, the president has his duty, and so on. A parent has his or her duty. So these are all occupational duties that we perform in the material world. In the conditioned state, the soul, whatever activities the soul performs in the conditioned state is conditional activity. And whatever activities the soul performs in the spiritual world serving Krishna, that's the constitutional activity.
Prabhuji, I have
Is that
one
correct?
question.
Does that answer your question, Sapan?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you. So, a conditioned soul performs two kinds of activities. One is material and other is spiritual.
Spiritual, yeah.
Thank you.
So because our true nature is always to serve Krishna. Jivera Swarupoi Nityera Krishna Das. Jivera Swarupoi Krishnera Nitya Das. The true nature of living entity is always to serve Krishna. But when we come in contact with the matter, when we fall down from spiritual world and come in contact with the matter and start living in the material world, we forget about Krishna. We forget about our relation with Krishna. We forget about our original constitutional occupation. And then we identify with our body. We identify ourselves as an Indian, as a man, woman, as a teacher, as a politician, software engineer. These are all material identities, bodily identities. So any activity that we perform in the bodily conception is the material duty, and our original duty as a servant of Krishna in the spiritual world is the spiritual activity, and that's the constitutional activity. Okay, Ashok, you were saying something?
No, Prabhuji, I forgot.
Okay. Okay. And then, okay, now coming back to chapter 16, right? Divine and demoniac qualities. So in this chapter, Krishna says, if one follows the scriptures, then they can cultivate good qualities, divine qualities. And if one does not follow what is prescribed in the Vedas, then they will only cultivate bad habits, demoniac qualities. And one thing to note here is, if a person is practicing devotion for God, then all the divine qualities will manifest automatically. If one is practicing devotion for God, all the divine qualities will manifest automatically. Whereas a person who has all good qualities, like in this country, we see, right? People are known for honesty. People are known for, their discipline. People are known for punctuality. If an American says 4 p.m., they are at the meeting spot before 4 p.m. So that is something we have been trying to, learn from ages. The Indians, we have been trying to learn from ages, but we are not there yet. Indian Standard Time. We have a separate, time zone. So like that, these people, the Western people, especially Americans, they have some good quality, a lot of good qualities that we Indians, we lack of. But the point to note here is, even if a person possesses tons of good qualities, but if they don't have devotion, then all those good qualities, they cannot help that person to get rid of this cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. Whereas if a person is practicing devotion and he may not have as many good qualities as the other people, but if he's practicing devotion, if he's situated in his sadhana, then slowly all the good qualities will manifest for a period of time. See, for example, if we are reading Bhagavad Gita, knowledge of the soul, knowledge of God, knowledge between living entity and Krishna, And then in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains how how lust works. He goes to the root level of the problem and tells the solution. There is no book in this material world that goes to the root of the problem, especially lust, and diagnoses the problem and gives solution. There is no book in this material world like that. Krishna says the problem of lust or desire starts from contemplation on an object, contemplation on a sense object. There is no book in the material world that teaches this principle. Everyone, all the psychologists or counselors or life coaches, they can only give you solutions to address the symptoms, but they cannot diagnose the root of the problem and give solutions, permanent solutions. Whereas Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he gives the permanent solution by addressing the problem at the root level. So after reading, this knowledge from Bhagavad Gita, a person will transform. A person will transform, and the good qualities will manifest automatically. So when we are practicing devotion, the good qualities will manifest slowly. You don't have to put extra effort to cultivate good qualities. So it's a byproduct. Cultivation of good qualities is a byproduct. When you're practicing devotion, cultivation of or the manifestation of good qualities is a byproduct of it.
And when we say devotional activities, we're talking about devotional activities for Krishna, not like a demigod or
Yeah.
does it count? Like if someone is a Shiva Bhakta, does that also count as this devotional activity, or is it only Krishna?
Only Krishna and Vishnu, because they are in the mode of goodness. Vishnu is in the mode of ignorance. Brahma is in the mode of passion. And all the other demigods, because demigods are also in the material world. So they are higher in consciousness than human beings, but they are also in the material world. They are also suffering. They are also fighting with each other. The Svargaloka, they are also fighting with each other, and they are fighting with Rakshasas. So if you worship Krishna, the devotion that I refer to, that's devotion for Krishna. Yeah. Okay, Hare Krishna. Madhuri, I see you just joined.
Yeah, we went to get groceries because we got to know from yesterday onwards snow is going to start. So yeah, finally we got late buying all this.
No,
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Got to home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, so she was here. Madhuri was here last week in person. Yeah. So you are not there that time, right? Yeah. So Aparna is here in person.
Oh, Aparna. Okay. Yeah. I think she was in person before, right? Before.
Yeah. Aparna, she comes every week.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I missed just 1 week for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah. Okay. So if you are cooking something nice with those groceries, we'll come.
Yeah, actually, I'm thinking of hosting at least once this Gita class, or generally any Krishna festival at our home, if that's possible. Yeah, I'll cook
sure.
them with whatever I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
We all can come to your place once, maybe sometime during December, during the holidays time, and people are not
definitely.
busy. Yeah. So, yeah, we can plan. We can plan doing this at everyone's home, whenever possible, at different people's homes.
Yeah.
So that you also, remember that experience for the next few months. Yeah.
Yes, that's the plan, Guruji. Yeah. Let me know. Yeah.
Sure, we can plan.
No.
Okay, good. See, that's a good quality. She's practicing devotion, and the good quality is manifesting automatically. Yeah. Okay. And then now, Venugopal, you bought a car, right? You can also travel here and there, right?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Now I can go anywhere.
You can go anywhere. So you come here in person.
Ah, sure, sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
did you do the
first
puja,
no
heart
form.
puja in the temple?
Ah, yes, Prabhu. I went to temple for puja.
Okay, good. Good. Yeah, Rahul, you're saying something?
Prabhuji, I remember like the first time
Ashok.
when I moved to Seattle when it was snowing.
Uh-huh.
I came from Midwest, from
Yeah.
Detroit, and I
Okay.
was like, why are these people all driving like children? Why are they all spinning out? I
Yeah.
was like, what is wrong with them? Then I realized like snow is very, Seattle is not used to snow and people are not used to driving in snow.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
was like, I was driving 35 up and down, like no sliding, nothing.
Yeah.
And I was surprised. Later I realized that, I mean, like, if it's your first time snow, Venugopal, I would say like, take it easy. I mean, if it's like a uphill or downhill where you're staying, you should be, if they don't put salt on the road, just be a little cautious when you're driving here.
Yeah. So he will
Sure.
learn all those things. Yeah. Swati, Hare Krishna, how are you?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Sorry for being late, all of you.
No, no problem. No problem. Yeah. You're busy with shopping?
No zero shopping, Thanksgiving.
Okay.
100% savings.
Oh, good, good. Very good, very good. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So coming back to chapter 16, divine and demoniac qualities. Yeah. So if you are practicing devotion, then automatically the divine qualities will manifest. And demoniac people, even if they possess good qualities, but if they don't have devotion, that one quality, if they don't have that one quality of devotion for God, then all that there's no permanent benefit of all the other good qualities that they have. So they can become a good citizen and good good wife or good husband, good parent, good friend, good employee, all those things. They can win awards and rewards, all those things, but it's not long lasting. That benefit is not long lasting. It does not, those good qualities will not help them get rid of the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. Okay. Anything else, Ashok, from chapter 16 that we discussed last week? Venugopal, you were also there, right? Yeah, Madhuri was also there. Anyone remember? Did we discuss anything else from chapter 16?
Prabhuji, we discussed from 16.1 to 16.3, and also we discussed about we had a discussion on how to measure progress in path of bhakti.
Oh yeah, correct, correct.
That was our major topic of discussion last week.
Yes, yes, we spent a lot of time on that. Yeah.
Yes.
So, okay, good point. So this chapter 16, also helps us how to measure our progress on bhakti. How to measure our progress on bhakti yoga. So when you are practicing devotion, when you are on this path, so you need to measure and make sure that you're always progressing, you're moving forward. As they say, if you're not moving forward, you're only going backward. If you're not moving forward, you're only going backward. So you need to constantly keep measuring your progress and check, where you are. And this chapter helps. This chapter helps. So how does this chapter help to measure our progress on this path of Bhakti Yoga? Is by checking our qualities. If we are manifesting any of these good qualities that we did not have last month, a quality that we did not have last year, a quality that we did not have 10 years ago, but if we are exhibiting that quality now, that means we are progressing. Okay, like the tolerance to provoking situations. What is your level of tolerance last year versus now? What's your level of tolerance to provoking situations 2 years ago to now? Okay, that's just one example. And how is your anger level? How do you respond to situations? And do you get angry, or what's your anger level? So all those things, So you look at the divine qualities and demoniac qualities, and as you progress nicely on the path of Bhakti Yoga, the demoniac qualities should dissipate over a period of time, and the demoniac qualities and divine qualities should increase. So, and anything else?
So, Prabhuji, I have one question, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Say if someone is trying to take something we have worked hard for, so how do we react? Like, because that is something which belongs to us, but if we, um, if we show some kind of aggression, then it comes to the demoniac qualities,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what is the right way of getting it?
So if a person is
Yes,
dealing
sir.
with you with aggression,
Say for example, we have like someone is stealing something,
mm-hmm.
which, and you just see that in front of us. Like, how do we deal with that? If we show an aggression, that becomes it's one of the demoniac qualities.
Uh-huh.
So how exactly do we deal in those situations? It could be either in work where someone is taking credit of all the hard,
Mm-hmm.
or something in the grocery store, someone is trying to shoplift something.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where
You don't have to, when you see those things happening right in front of you, so you don't have to yell at them, you don't have to scream or shout at them, but you catch that person and you say that this is not the right thing to do, and there can be consequences for this. And if you are an authority, you take an action. Otherwise, if it is if that situation demands that you need to report it to authorities, you report it to authorities. And because unless you have an authority, you are no way to judge a person. You are no way to judge a person. And at the same time, you should not keep quiet. If you are seeing somebody stealing something and you are seeing that, you should not keep quiet, but you report to an authority. If you are an authority, you take an action. Otherwise, you report to an authority. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
So Shastras say in chapter 17 or 18. Ashok, remember that verse? Anudvega karam vakyam. Krishna talks about austerity of speech.
That is chapter 18.
18, right? Yeah.
18.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So let me bring that up here. Seventeen. 17.15. Okay. So Krishna says, Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyaya abhyasanam chaiva vanmayam tap uchyate. Austerity of speech consists in speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and also in regularly reciting Vedic literature. So, and in the later verses and in the purports also, Prabhupada explains. Am I sharing this? No, I'm not sharing, right? Okay, let me share. So, this is the verse 17, not 15. Chapter 17, verse 15. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vanmayam tapa uchyate. So, Swati, you want to read the translation?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Austerity of speech consists in speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and also in regularly reciting Vedic literature.
Yeah. So, in the purport, Prabhupada explains here that one should not speak in such a way as to agitate the minds of others. Of course, when a teacher speaks, he can speak the truth for the instruction of his students. But such a teacher should not speak to those who are not his students, if he will agitate their minds. This is penance as far as talking is concerned. Besides that, one should not talk nonsense. So, if you look at Ashok, if you look at this first paragraph in the purport, right? The Prabhupada is saying a teacher can only instruct his students. That means a person who is in authority only can speak to the people who are concerned about. But if you are not in authority, or if the teacher, even if a person is a teacher, he cannot speak to others who are not his students. So there has to be some relation for anyone to give an advice or instruction. So this is an austerity of speech. And in later verses or later in the purport, it is also mentioned, even a harsh truth, even if you have to reveal harsh truth, you have to present it in a pleasing manner. You should not present the harsh truth in an agitating manner. So, yeah. So yeah, we need to handle that situation with composure and calmness, and yeah, especially remembering this verse: austerity of speech, austerity of speech, mind, and body. Body means action. So there are three kinds of austerities: austerities of mind, austerity of speech, austerity of body, which is action. Okay, so, and then chapter 17. Chapter 17, the divisions of faith. The divisions of faith. Shraddha-traya Vibhaga Yoga. Shraddha-traya Vibhaga. Is it Shraddha-traya or?
You are correct, Prabhuji.
Shraddha-traya, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Shraddha-traya Vibhaga Yoga. Yeah. Divisions of faith. So in this chapter, Arjuna asks Krishna, is it better to worship an impersonal form of you or personal form of you? So after hearing Bhagavad Gita for the last 16 chapters, Arjuna is asking this question: is it better to worship an impersonal form or a personal form? Now, we are almost coming to an end of Bhagavad Gita. So Arjuna asking this question towards the end may sound kind of inappropriate, because Krishna explained about his personal qualities, and in chapter 7 Krishna said, I am a person, there is no truth superior than me. Mattaha partaram nanyat. There is no truth superior than me. That means Krishna is saying, I'm a person, I'm a Bhagavan, and there is no truth superior than me. And in chapter 11, Krishna showed his universal form, and then 400 Narayana form, and then finally Shamasundara form. And Krishna spoke elaboratively about all these in the last 16 chapters. And now in the end, Arjuna asking Krishna, is it better to worship impersonal form or personal form? That sounds little inappropriate, but Krishna is asking for our benefit. Because if you look at today's world, 90% of the spiritual practitioners, they follow impersonal form of, they worship impersonal form of Lord. The Brahman realization, that's going on big time, right? All these other spiritual organizations like Art of Living, Sadhguru, or you name any other organization, they're all worshippers of impersonal Brahman. Yeah, their philosophy is only one: Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. That means only God is the absolute truth. Everything else is Maya. They say even this material world is Maya. There is Maya, but their interpretation is this entire material world is an illusion. It is not real. They say it's not real. They say like I exist is not real. I'm seeing you is not real. I am working, I'm breathing, it's not real. They say it's all illusion. But is that illusion? No, it's not illusion. It's real. The material world is real. It's real, but it's not permanent. But their interpretation is, they say Brahma Satyam, only God is the absolute truth. Everything else is illusion. Jagat Mithya. Mithya is illusion. Jagat means this entire universe is illusion. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. So, and for them, God means some light, some energy. Beyond that, they don't have any other faith. At the end of life, if they achieve perfection, they go and merge and become one with God. But we don't merge with God. When we achieve perfection in spirituality, we don't become one with God. We don't merge with God. We remain our separate identity, and we serve Krishna in different rasas, in different relations. It's a different identity. It's a separate identity. Krishna has his identity as the Supreme Person, and we have our identity as a servant of Krishna. We don't merge with God. We don't become one with God. Okay. So when Arjuna asks this question, is it better to worship impersonal form or personal form? Krishna immediately clarifies that the personal form, worship of personal form is undoubtedly the best one. Worship of personal form is undoubtedly the best one. And then Krishna tells why different people have different faiths. Why somebody worships the impersonal Brahman, why somebody worships the Paramatma aspect, and why somebody worships the Bhagavan aspect. That is because of the different modes that are influencing us. The three modes of material nature: mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Based on how they are influencing us, we are attracted to these three kinds of worship of God: impersonal or personal, or the Paramatma worship of God. So And these modes are nothing but, so how do, okay, so the more, so one thing is that the modes affecting us to worship a particular aspect of God. If a person is in the mode of passion or ignorance, they worship either Brahman or Paramatma aspect of God. If a person is in the mode of goodness, they worship the personal form of God. Okay, that we understand. But how these modes are coming into picture in the first place? Why do these modes or how do these modes influence us? That also Krishna explains in chapter 17. Because, in other words, my question is, how do we acquire these modes? How do we acquire these modes, or how do we come under the influence of, let's say, mode of ignorance predominantly? Or how does one come under the influence of mode of goodness predominantly? There are three modes in every person, but how does one come under the influence of mode of goodness predominantly compared to the other two modes?
Is it with the kind of things we consume, food
Yes,
and thoughts
very,
and
yeah.
and action, our daily routine, all of that. So gunas,
Yeah,
sadgun.
your routines or actions are controlled by the modes. But how you acquire modes is what you said, Swati, in the beginning. Like how
Food
based on what we consume, the food.
consume.
Yeah, there's a saying, right? You are what you eat. You are what you eat. So whatever we consume, that's how our consciousness will develop. So if we are eating all the junk food all the time, then we develop demoniac qualities. So that's why all these fast foods and junk food, they have to be avoided. So in this chapter, chapter 17, Krishna explains more food in the mode of goodness, food in the mode of passion, food in the mode of ignorance. Okay. Okay, let's look at that very quickly. Okay, let me see. Nine? Okay, yeah. Okay, then we need to go one verse before that. 17.9 might be for the mode of passion. Yeah, this mode of passion. Okay, let's go to 8. Okay, 17.8, 9, and 10. These three verses, Krishna tells how foods affect our consciousness, or how we come under the influence of these three modes. So, Ayu Sattva Bala Rogya Sukha. I'm not sharing, right? No sharing, no seeing. Okay. Okay, this is 17.8. Ayu Sattva Bala Rogya Sukha Priti Vivardhana Rishaya Snigdha Stira Hrudya Ahara Satvika Priya. Okay, Venugopal, you want to read the translation?
Foods dear to those in the mode of goodness increase the duration of life, purify one's existence, and give strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. Such foods are juicy, fatty, wholesome, and pleasing to the heart.
Yeah. Okay, so here Krishna is talking about the foods in the mode of goodness. So what are those foods? Foods that are juicy. So what's an example of food that is juicy? Fruits and vegetables. And fatty? Milk. Most importantly, ghee.
Fruits, dry fruits also have good fats.
Dry fruits also, yes, correct. Yeah, dry fruits also. So milk, dry fruits, and most importantly, ghee. Ghee is good for health. Unfortunately, the propaganda in the society is ghee is bad for health. Okay, so but it's good for health. So it's good for health, and we'll also look at the benefits of eating this fatty food and juicy food. Okay, next, wholesome. What's an example for wholesome food?
Contains like everything, like it has fats, it has all good vitamins, greens, and everything.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, good.
maybe
Wholesome.
salads or
Yeah, that
all
includes
those.
carbs, proteins, vitamins, everything, all the nitty grits of the nutrition. Okay, and then and pleasing to the heart. Okay, so now what happens when we eat these kinds of food? It increases the duration of life. It purifies one's existence and gives strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. So that's why, people who belong to the Brahmana caste, right? You see, all the time, if you ask them, what did you eat? They say, rice, dal, and ghee. Rice, dal, and ghee. Every time, this is their regular menu. They may have other things added, but this is their standard menu, rice, dal, and ghee. Because the people from Brahmana caste, they are in the mode of goodness. They are happy and they are peaceful, calm. Why? Because of the food that they are eating. Rice, dal, and ghee. So during the Thanksgiving time in the temple, they fried, mirchi bhajis, right? Chili bhajis. They fried mirchi bhajis in ghee. Have you ever seen this before? We heard of people making, for example, ariselu. Tamil, I don't know what is, the jaggery.
It's
call
called
Pancake.
Adirasam.
Not pancake. It looks like
It's called Adirasam.
Atirasam, correct. Atirasam. Yeah. You know that? Okay. Atirasam. Atirasam or ariselu. We heard those, frying in ghee. But we never heard of mirchi bhajis frying in ghee. Because Harilas Maharaj, he believes the value, he knows the value of ghee. That's why he always recommends to use ghee to make any special feast like this. Yeah. So first of all, anything that's cooked in ghee, even for regular cooking, it's recommended to use only ghee. People say coconut oil or olive oil or this thing, that thing, right? Coconut oil is okay to some extent. It's better than other oils, but better than coconut oil and the best one is cooking in ghee. Your day-to-day vegetables, cooking, your sabjis and everything, you can cook in ghee. So when you cook in ghee, it gives you satisfaction. It gives you satisfaction and gives you health, purifies one's existence, all these good qualities. All these good things will happen. Okay. Now, let's go to the worst part. Now we know the best part. Let's go to the worst part. There is worse and there is worst also. So 17.9. Katvamala lavanat yushna Tiksha ruksha vidahinaha ahara rajasashyesta dukkha shokamaya pradaha. Okay, Madhuri, are you able to read this translation?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
Prabhuji. Yeah. Foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry, and burning are dear to those in the mode of passion. Such foods cause distress, misery, and disease.
Yeah.
I could see only till yeah.
Now you are a food expert. You have anything to say?
I have a question, Prabhuji. So does bitter gourd come under like too bitter here? But I heard that it's good for health as well.
It's good for health. Here all these
Mhm.
all these different tastes. You need bitter,
Mhm.
you need sour, you need salt, you need to eat hot, like green chilies. You need to eat a little bit of green chilies, pungent thing,
Yeah.
dry. You need to eat all these things. But
Yes.
if you are overdoing and eating too much of this, that is not good.
Okay.
That's what it says. Yeah, bitter gourd is good, but too much of
Okay.
that bitterness is not good.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, from this anything that's like as far as like today's this thing, we see a lot of trans fat foods, like processed fats. I mean, including all these deep fried foods, whatever French fries or like whatever I mean, if there are any like non-veg eating people, so they have like lot of fast food centers right here. So like whatever we get in McD's, Jack in the Boxes, or like whatever Burger Kings, or everything that's you get in there is probably not as healthy. Um, and too sour in the sense like, yeah, like you mentioned, Prabhuji, anything even considering like bitter gourd, it has to be cooked to some extent to reduce its bitterness.
Yeah.
And anything, even lemon juices mixed with water, or at least a few drops into some food
Mhm.
in order to like not take it directly as much as like we like to add these things. All these things need to be. And also I heard that as per like sattvic foods are considered, they should not be cooked above 30 or 40 degrees. As soon as we cook like anything that's higher than that, that too, particularly these proteins or like vitamins, they are like very sensitive to heat. So as soon as we cook it, I mean, above 50 degrees, they evaporate and lose their power. So even if we are thinking that we are eating healthy and vegetables, as soon as we are deep frying, or like as soon as we are adding too much oil and overcooking it, then they lose their power. So
Mm.
they lose their a goodness or whatever they are supposed to give us by eating them. So that's their, yeah, that's I think what they mean by dry or burning them, is what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything that's overcooked, anything that's over, I mean, even we can eat some things raw, some things are better cooked. Like, I mean, if we consider greens, it's better to take them cold pressed, or like we can have make juices, vegetable juices, like with there's green juice which has like cucumber, spinach, a little bit of coriander or mint, whichever you can eat, and you can make a juice out of it and eat, drink with pulp, or without. You can also take out the pulp and just take the juice in juice form. So green, some things you can take in the form of like cold pressed and directly. Some you better cook them, and some, yeah, but not about like not overcooked. Sauteing them for like 5 to 10 minutes should be good. Yeah,
Mm.
that's what I said. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Was it like too much?
that was good.
I
Food.
might be wrong too.
No, you're an expert of food. In this audience, you're an
Yeah.
expert of food. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. So all these things, anything that is too sour, too bitter, too pungent, they're not good. They're in the mode of passion. Ashok, you were saying something? No, I saw your hand raised.
No, Prabhuji.
Zoom,
I just
Zoom
clapped.
has a
Clapped.
hand raised. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I just clapped whatever.
Oh, that was a clap.
Madhuri Mataji said.
Okay. 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 Nice.
Question.
Yeah.
For,
Thank you,
when
Prabhuji.
there's the distribution of prasadam.
Yeah.
So someone who's not a devotee, they just, get one box and they're eating it.
Yeah.
So does that still give them a benefit? Because say let's say the rest of the day they're eating back or
Yeah.
more of ignorance.
Yeah.
And the one meal is suffering.
Yeah.
Does that actually impact them in a positive way? Because that's only one.
Yes, it does. Yeah. And Prabhupada explains that in the introduction of Bhagavad Gita, where Prabhupada says it's a scientific thing actually. When somebody eats prasadam, the food that is offered to God, somebody eats that, then it fine tunes the tissues in the brain. It fine tunes the tissues in the brain, and then they start thinking about God. So it doesn't happen in one meal, right? So it may happen after 1,000 meals or 10,000 meals, but he gets that benefit. So slowly it starts working. Slowly it starts working, and one fine day he will start thinking about God. Maybe in this lifetime or next lifetime. So it will have benefit, definitely. Yeah. That's the purpose of ISKCON worldwide donating food. Otherwise, we are not in the business of donating food. So our business is to distribute knowledge of Gita, not distribute the food. But because the prasadam has this tremendous effect of bringing transformation in a person's thinking, that's why they distribute food. But while doing that, it also serves the other purpose of feeding the hunger, feeding the hungry people. Yeah. Okay. So like that in chapter 17. Oh, okay. No, we did not discuss the third one, right? Okay. Okay, the third one, 17.10. Yatayamam gatarasam puti paryushitam chayat uchishtam api chamedyam bhojanam tamasapriyam. Okay, Rahul, you want to read the translation?
Yeah, absolutely. Food prepared more than 3 hours before being eaten, food that is tasteless, decomposed and putrid, and food consisting of remnants and untouchable things is dear to those in the mode of darkness.
Yeah. So Krishna is saying food that is prepared more than 3 hours before being eaten. So what do we all have to say about this?
It's really difficult to follow that project. I try to
Difficult to follow even 3 days, right? Forget about 3 hours. It's difficult to follow 3 days. So we keep food in the refrigerator for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
I literally ate today's lunch, which was prepared day before yesterday.
Day before yesterday. That's like 3 days. So maybe when you are reading this verse, you overlooked 3 hours as 3 days. So you thought, okay, if it is not more than 3 days, it is okay. No, we are all like that, right? And that's the problem with the refrigerators. When you have a facility, in the name of using that facility, for comfort or convenience, you end up doing mistakes like this. In the olden days, there was no refrigerator. Our parents, grandparents' time, there was no refrigerator. They used to cook and eat a hot meal. So,
Maybe when the Bhagavad Gita was spoken at that time, this is more applicable, I feel like.
no,
At that time,
Bhagavad Gita is applicable all the time. Not only today, not only tomorrow. It's applicable 10,000 years later, 100,000 years later. It's applicable in all yugas. Time infinity. Time infinity. That's the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, there is no point. You take any point from Bhagavad Gita randomly and say that it's not applicable today because of Kali Yuga or because of the computer era or AI, artificial intelligence era. You cannot say that. So any point, you take any point, it's applicable today and it will be applicable for time infinity in the future. So yeah, I mean, this is something to think about seriously, because this is what builds our consciousness. The food is what builds our consciousness. And sadly, this is the most neglected thing. With our today's fast life, this is the most neglected thing. So there is consciousness is one. Consciousness while preparing the food, that is one. And what type of food that we are eating, as discussed in these 3 shlokas. Food in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So what a person is thinking while cooking the food, that is consciousness, that is one. And what type of food we are eating. So, yeah. I mean, at least to, at the basic level, what we can practice is trying to eat the food that is cooked on the same day. If not 3 hours, I mean, 3 hours is too difficult to follow. In today's age, it's too difficult to follow. But at least we can try to eat the food that is cooked on the same day. Even if it is in the morning, we can eat in the afternoon and evening. But definitely not the food from yesterday or day before or last week. Okay. Okay, so like that, in this chapter, Krishna tells Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga.
Prabhuji, I have a question regarding that food thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes even if we prepare the food today, but we have ingredients that we have that are like frozen peas or even shredded. We have ingredients even if we consider them as healthy, but they're processed way before, even if they are in safe way, fresh fruits. They've been taken from the trees. I mean, even if we consider the most healthiest of foods, it's not necessary that it it is the freshest.
Yeah. See,
So
for example, lemon. We consume lemon to get vitamin C, right? So
right.
now I read somewhere that if you keep white lemon in refrigerator, it loses its vitamin C. Now I haven't verified that, either at my personal level or scientifically, or I have not verified that, but that's what I heard. So
Yeah, even milk or yogurt, we get it from outside. Even if we consider that as a healthy option, even if we think of making yogurt at home or paneer at home, but we are getting milk from outside. It is still processed. It is still it's still difficult on the ingredient level to get something absolutely fresh and pure.
Yeah. No, I think it's not. Krishna is not talking about the ingredients. Food prepared before 3 hours is not good to eat. Okay, food prepared means cooked. Mostly he's referring to cooked food. Cooked food. I mean, to cook the food, if you need milk that you have preserved, for last few days, that is okay. And you need to have, sometimes you need to have fermented food, right? Batter, you need to have it fermented. Yogurt, you need to have it fermented. So sprouts, you need to ferment them. So ingredients are okay. How you preserve them, how you maintain or ferment them, that is okay. At the same time, too much fermentation also will lead to bad bacteria. Yogurt or the idli batter, too much fermentation can lead to bad bacteria. The purpose of fermentation is to get good bacteria, but too long fermentation for prolonged period will lead to bad bacteria. Yeah, ingredients wise is okay. Storing milk in the refrigerator, yeah, those things are okay. Yeah.
Yeah, even like what Swati said is right, Prabhuji. Like, I mean, even considering ingredients, it's better to consume, like even the raw ingredients, better to consume them before like 3 days or so. So before they get spoiled, and rather than keeping them for too much time in refrigerator, it's take whatever you think will eat that in 3 days and plan them properly and get those, use them. And yeah, of course there are some ingredients we cannot keep outside, and like over frozen foods are like, again, comes under tamasic kind of foods,
Yeah.
which induce like ignorance in us, or like it makes us feel lethargic very much. I mean, if we consume too much of them,
Yeah.
that increases tamasic nature.
Mataji, actually, I read like a few days before, like the frozen food which we consume is much better than whatever fresh food like we are like sorry, Mataji mentioned peas, right? So when they freeze it, so they pluck it at the right time. So if you're getting fresh, they are plucked like when they freeze it, it's like it's stuck in time, and it doesn't grow after that. Like in temperatures below.
It doesn't deteriorate.
Yeah.
You're saying?
Yeah. So when we are like living in the cities right now, right? So the vegetables, it needs to travel a very long distance. So basically, they are plugged when they are not fully like grown. So they are plugged when they are maybe a week before. So they kind of deteriorate a lot faster. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly, but
But
frozen
considering
blueberries are better than like fresh blueberries. I read that somewhere. So yeah.
I mean, I'm saying in the sense that when considering sattvic foods, it's better to eat them more lively. Like, means when the life force is still in them, for example, sprouts or something, they grow. They even grow even like even after you plug them. When the
Right.
life force is still in them, it's better to eat them. But when you freeze them, that dies away. Like that the life force in them is dies away. The reason why we say don't eat dead foods like meat and stuff is also for the same reason,
Yeah,
that
even I was thinking in the same terms as you, but then I saw this some scientist or researcher talking about this, like when you freeze something which is below minus 30 degrees or something, that vegetable or that food is stuck in time. So when you unfreeze it, like when you warm it up, it again starts to deteriorate or something like that. So yeah,
Okay.
you can search it up, look for more, but that's what I've got.
Yeah, I also heard about this thing that frozen food is better than conventional food. I heard this long time ago, like 6-7 years ago. I did not do much research, but I'm pretty sure, frozen food is definitely not good. That article that you have read, whether it is a scientist or whoever, right? I think there must be some motive behind that, either to increase the consumption of frozen food.
Right.
It's business. Yeah.
There's definitely business motive behind that.
Yeah. Also, the peas that we get, I think they're boiled and frozen as well, like reduced. Because as soon as we put them in water, generally, if we take peas, which from the freshly grown peas, they're hard, right? You have to cook them or boil them in order to make them soft. You cannot
Right.
directly eat them generally. But the frozen ones that I see, once you thaw them or get them to room temperature or like warm them, they're so soft. I think it's generally boiled and then frozen, so that's much worse. Any like we saw, right? Any hot foods or like over processed foods must be eaten within 3 hours or less than an hour, is like what they say generally, because they are already lost a lot of ingredients by heating them up. And if we reheat them, and if we keep on freezing and reheating, the temperatures go from like extreme temperatures, right? So that's again not a good thing again for the food. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot to learn about food. So maybe one day Madhuri can give a session on food. Food, mood, and you. That can be the title
So
of the session.
basically
Food
what
and
I
you.
understand from this whole discussion is keep it simple, keep it very basic, and cook frequently.
Yeah.
Cook
Also, like make it to make it easier for working women. Like I understand the difficulty. So I always make sprouts and make dry chats out of them. They give you energy for the whole day. And you can make these sprouts like you just soak the green peas or like chickpeas or whatever for a day. And then you put just a cotton cloth on them, and they start growing.
Yeah.
So that you can keep for more than 2 or 3 days, because they are not put in a freezer or they are not overcooked, and you don't have to cook them as well. You just put them and put dry tomato, just cut the tomatoes, onions, or whatever you want to make it tasty, make it tasty. Add lemon juice on it, and you can directly have it. So that contains proteins, and you can add cucumber, which has fibers and stuff. So yeah. So you I generally make sprouts. I make a date chutney to make it like much tastier if you want. Or if so you can start by taking healthier food one day at a time, and in a week, and then slowly try to once you know how to plan it, it will become much easier, is what I think. Like what to eat, what not to eat, and how you can store them safely. And once you start learning that, it becomes much easier, and you will start eating healthy more times in a day, more times in a week. Yeah. I mean, it's a slow process, because we already got used to like eating certain kind of food and certain way of living uh, all these years. So changing it will take time. Even our taste buds. In fact, that some cheeses that are sold, like that yellow cheese, generally the cheese does not melt that easily. It has to be frozen. Melted at high temperatures to like make it liquidy. But some guy invented that yellow thing that melts so easily, which is sold as kind of dairy product. And he was paid in billions, and now they're earning in millions. It makes it tasty and stuff. Some things just they find loopholes in like regulations and laws, and they sell it. And they and the reason they're paid in billions is because whenever we think about it, our mouth waters even still, because they keep it's like a bomb that goes off in our mouth every time, making us our mouths water. And because we also have muscle memory, right? Like you said, we eat with all our five senses. So taste buds being one of our senses. So whenever we think of tasty foods, our memory kicks off, and we keep imagining like good stuff. Yeah. And our mouth starts watering. So in order to break that, you need to it takes some time as well. So we cannot be perfect all the time. So even I eat like 2 or 3 days frozen food sometimes. But at least one meal a day, at least in the dinner, I try to make it something completely sattvic, because in the morning sometimes being at work, it doesn't support that way. Yeah. But
Yeah, sprouts,
yeah.
I totally agree, because even I also eat sprouts, not as much as I wanted, but at least once a week or twice a week, I eat sprouts in the breakfast. And I know a family, they live pretty close to temple here. Entire family, they eat sprouts every single day for breakfast. So wife, husband, and 2 kids, every day breakfast sprouts. So
Yeah,
amazing.
that's very healthy.
I've been seeing them for last 10 years. They never got sick. They never got sick.
Also, there are vegetable sprouts as well. The ones that moong dal or chickpeas, they are like dal legume sprouts, right? You can also make sprouts that grow in one day, just one day. They are made out of the fenugreek seeds, right? Like methi seeds, alfalfa seeds. So they just grow very quickly, and they are much easily digestible, and they give much better protein, and they grow in a day. So whereas moong dal and all these take 2 days at least to start sprouting and stuff, right? So that's much easier. Like it.
Methi seeds don't taste good. Very
No, once you soak them, that
bitter.
over
Very
bitterness, yeah, goes away. Yeah,
okay.
not as bad. And also you can add other ingredients, right? Like tomatoes, onions, and lemon juice. Once you put it, everything goes away. Yeah, all the bad taste.
Yeah.
So does onion and garlic come in the mode of passion?
Mode of passion and ignorance. Onion is in the mode of passion. Garlic in the mode of ignorance.
Yeah.
Garlic.
So you don't have to add them all the time. Yeah, you can. Yeah. Only some days. Yeah.
Yeah. So garlic in the mode.
Garlic, avoid it if you can. Yeah.
Yeah. So they should be avoided, because even the pilots, they are not allowed to eat garlic 72 or 48 hours before the flight. They are not allowed to eat garlic. Yeah. Because it makes a person lethargic, lazy, sleepy, morose. Yeah. They don't want to take a chance, a flight going, falling asleep. But in the cruise mode and then falling asleep. Yeah. So okay. Yeah, good discussion on food. Maybe we need to have a seminar on this. Madhuri. So yeah, so in chapter 17, Krishna, like this, he describes how charities are performed in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance, how sacrifices are performed in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance, how austerities are performed in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance, and so on. So that's why Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga. Anything that we do, anything that we believe, any faith that we have, that can be classified into these 3 categories. Mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. And anything that is done in the mode of passion and ignorance will only give you impermanent results. Will only give you impermanent results. Whereas anything that is believed, that is performed in the mode of goodness, will give you permanent results. Yeah. Okay. That's chapter 17. And then chapter 18, the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, the perfection of renunciation, moksha sannyasa yoga. Moksha sannyasa yoga. Okay, it is 7 o'clock, and this can take about another 10-15 minutes. So should we do it in the next class then? Okay, we'll do it in the next class. We'll try to do it. We'll first discuss 18 chapter summary and then try to do a recap of all 18 chapters in one day, if we are able to do that. Then I think after that, we'll start discussing the shlokas from chapter 2. We finished chapter 1. And then we tried doing the summary of all 18 chapters before jumping into second chapter. Yeah.
Prabhuji, is there anything planned for
1 second,
Gita
Ashok.
Jayanti?
That's what you were also asking? Okay. Yeah, Apan is also asking the same thing. Okay, yeah, then I think we should cancel the class actually.
Is there something happening?
Yeah. So December 3rd is Gita Jayanti, Saturday. Okay. And December 4th is Sunday. So in the temple, actually I'll send out a flyer, later tonight or tomorrow. I'll send out a flyer to everyone. So in the temple, we'll be reciting all 700 slokas from Bhagavad Gita on both days, Saturday and Sunday, 2 days. Sunday, it starts at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and it continues until 8 or 9 o'clock.
In the night?
In the night, yeah. And then there'll be fire sacrifice, Gita Mahayajna. Okay. And the same thing will happen on Saturday, which is the actual Gita Jayanti day. So Saturday, and the way we do the recitation in the temple is, so Harilas Maharaj, he will read first line, and then we will read the second line. Like Matra Sparshas tu Kaunteya, that Harilas Maharaj will read. And then Shitoshna Sukha Dukkada Agama Payino Nitya Tamstitikshasva Bharata. The audience will read the second line. So like that, we'll finish recitation of all 700 shlokas in about 2.5 to 3 hours. Okay. So Sunday, Harilas Maharaj will lead that. And Saturday, I will lead that recitation. I will read one line and the audience will read second line. So I have been doing this for last few years. So since the recitation on Sunday starts at 5 o'clock, then I think we should cancel the class next week. Yeah. Unless we want to have the class Saturday morning. Saturday morning is the only time, because Sunday morning I have another class. So we can do it Saturday morning. If everyone is available, we can do it Saturday morning. Like 11 to 1 or 12 to 2, something like that.
Works for me, Prabhuji.
12 to 2 works for me, Prabhuji.
Works for Ashok. 12 to 2 works for you, Ashok?
Yes, Prabhuji. I have to, mornings are pretty busy, Saturdays.
Okay. Okay. Rahul, work for you?
Yeah, Prabhuji, most probably.
Okay. Venugopal, does it work for you?
It works for me.
Okay. Madhuri?
I'll be cooking and listening, Prabhuji.
It's okay. Yeah, we don't smell. The technology has not advanced so much that we can smell your food and come to your home. So you're safe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So
Sure,
Apan, does it work for you?
It may not work for me. I think we have a meeting that works.
Oh, you work on Saturdays?
It's not like it's outside work, like a team building.
Okay, team building kind of thing. Okay.
So I may, 50-50.
50-50. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
If not, I can listen to recording.
Yeah. Mhm. Okay. So, but yeah, I recommend everyone to come and attend that Gita recitation either on Saturday or Sunday, if possible, both days. You will develop love for Gita by listening to the complete recitation. You will have some satisfaction of at least listening to all the shlokas once in your lifetime. Okay. So we were not on the battlefield. We were not Arjunas. So we missed that golden opportunity of hearing directly from Krishna. But at least we'll have satisfaction of hearing or reading all the 700 shlokas in lifetime, at least once in our lifetime. So it's a great feeling. So I have done this several times, and every time I do this, I feel so good about it. Yeah.
Prabhuji, I wanted to ask something like
Yeah.
from next class or maybe after that class, can we like recite one shloka and learn that like the most important shlokas? I know we can't like learn all the shlokas,
Yeah.
but any, according to you, any shlokas, like important shlokas, one
There are
shloka per day
108,
and
there is a list of 108 important shlokas from all 18 chapters.
oh,
Yeah, we have 108 important shlokas. Yeah, we can memorize those.
yeah, and for that week we can like all of us can like try to remember that shloka. And the
Yeah.
next week we can like recite it or something like that.
Yeah.
I've learned a couple of shlokas myself, but
Okay.
I love the yada yada dharmasya shloka, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Oh, that's good
Yeah,
words. Yada
yeah,
yada hi dharmasya. Remember that B.R. Chopra serial?
right,
Oh,
right.
they sing with a beautiful melody. These two shlokas, they sing with a beautiful melody. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, Bhagavad Gita shlokas are very, very precious. These are the only words spoken by God. I mean, Bhagavatam is all about God. It's not by God. It's all about, Bhagavatam is all about God. Whereas Bhagavad Gita is by God. It's from God, from the lotus lips of God. So this is the most precious. So we should, if possible, we should memorize all 700 shlokas. But if that is not possible, we should try to hear and recite the more, possible. Yeah. So there are two girls who memorized all the 12, all the 700 shlokas. We'll be doing a program in the temple with those two girls. They'll be reciting all the shlokas. And then one girl, she has even mastered different prakriyas. Like you can ask her, what is 132nd verse in Bhagavad Gita? She will tell. She will do the calculation in 2 seconds and tell the verse. She doesn't take, okay, give me 5 minutes, I'll do the math. She doesn't say that. She does the mental calculation in 2 seconds and recites that shloka. Now, 132nd shloka means you need to know how many shlokas are in first chapter, how many shlokas in second chapter, and which is the 132nd shloka. So this is mind-boggling, memorization.
Brain cells working.
Yeah.
How do you explain that, Prabhuji? Like, was she in the battlefield somewhere during the Gita was being spoken in her past lifetime or something like that?
You're asking, was she present in
Kshetra.
Because it took me like a couple of days, even with so much love for memorizing Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya. I think it took me like 1 or 2 days
Yeah.
to memorize those 7 and 8 shlokas.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't even imagine like 700 shlokas and like
Prakriyas, and you can also ask her, you can give her a mathematical equation, like simple equation, addition and subtraction. Like you can say 13 minus 5. Okay. Now she has to tell, starting from verse 13 in Bhagavad Gita, she has to tell all the previous 5 shlokas, like 10, 11, 12, 13, 9, 11, 12, 11, 12, 13, those 5 shlokas. Now, if you tell her 29 plus 7, she will start reciting 29th verse and then 7 shlokas from there. There are multiple prakriyas like this that she mastered. So she's going to...
He's smart and spiritual, Prabhuji. That's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called avadhanam. This process is called avadhanam. Avadhanam means retention. You memorize and then retain. Memorize and retain. That's the power of, avadhanam.
Krishna gave her remembrance.
Yeah, Krishna gave her remembrance. Yeah.
Good remembrance.
Good remember. She's only in 8th grade or 8th grade, I think. Yeah, 8th or 9th grade. Yeah.
Is a
And
child prodigy then. Yeah.
child prodigy. In the entire Seattle area, she's the only one who mastered that skill. Yeah. Yeah.
Next lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, our job is not to memorize the shlokas and put a show out of it, but memorization helps us to meditate on these shlokas. When you're meditating on these shlokas, that means you are meditating on Krishna. So you'll develop love for Krishna by meditating these shlokas, by reciting these shlokas repeatedly. You develop love for Krishna. I mean, even in the material world, we can see, right? When we hear of words uttered by a person, if those are sweet words and we get remembrance of those words, we feel very good about it. Now, what to speak of Krishna? Yeah. So it should be in our blood, it should be in our veins, and it should be all over our body. The 700 shlokas should be all over our body. Yeah. Okay. So anything else? Anyone? Any questions? Any reflections? Any comments?
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yeah.
The answer might take maybe a lot of time, but yesterday I was questioned by my brother. He's an agnostic. So we were just having a conversation about spirituality, God, and everything. So he was asking me, is there any concrete proof that God exists?
Okay.
Or the supreme being exists? Or
so the simple way to answer the question is, you tell that person, is there any concrete proof to prove otherwise?
Yes, he's an agnostic, yeah. So he's in that stage already that he neither believes nor disagrees. So I asked him that do you believe in the soul principle? So he said no. Then I asked him like, do you know what consciousness is? So he said, yes, I know. So I asked him to define consciousness. So he couldn't define it because there's no definition scientifically.
Yeah.
But we were stuck at that juncture. So I don't know how. I'm just asking you. Maybe he's an agnostic. He was an atheist. Now he's an agnostic.
Yeah.
So maybe he might consider coming to the theist side. So maybe if you have any answers, I can maybe talk to him about it.
Yeah. No, first of all, you can ask her if she has any way of proving that God does not exist. Okay. Obviously, she does not have any method to prove that God does not exist. Okay.
Right.
Now, another way of answering her is we discussed in the DYS, right, in the beginning sessions, that does God exist? That's the second topic in the DYS seminar. That's the second topic. Does God exist? And then we looked at, so you can ask her, what do you think is the origin of this universe? What do you think the origin of life in this universe? Obviously,
yeah, we went on, yeah.
Big Bang
yeah,
theory,
obviously,
all those things.
right.
Now you ask her, can you verify if Big Bang is actually true? Okay. Even the scientists who wrote the Big Bang postulate, they themselves write in the very first sentence. They say that Big Bang was caused when a point singularity is under extreme high temperatures, it produces explosion or something, and that leads to creation. And then they also write there. However, this point singularity cannot be mathematically measured or scientifically verified. And they say that this whole Big Bang theory cannot be scientifically verified. Scientists themselves are writing that. So what to speak of an ordinary person, what kind of instrument they have or what kind of process they have to verify Big Bang theory and say that that is the origin of existence. Whereas here, at least, we have a method, we have a process to say that God is the origin of existence. We have a process.
Right.
And if she follows the process, then she can be convinced of the existence of God. So, but yeah, in simple words, you can ask her, can you prove otherwise? Can you prove that God does not exist? Okay. And then you can tell her about the so many beautiful things in this world, so many great things, so many astonishing things in this world. For example, within this body, there are 100 trillion cells. 100 trillion cells, and we all heard of chromosomes, right? If you take the pair of chromosomes and make a string between Earth and Moon, you can travel 65,000 times. You can go to Moon and come back, and go and come back 65,000 times. If you take the pair of chromosomes and make a string from Earth to Moon. Okay, there are so many astonishing things in this world, within the body, in the nature. Is everything happening randomly? No.
Yeah, right now he believes so.
Greater intelligence
Right.
behind all this.
Right. Yeah, right now his point of view is like, yes, it's out of randomly due to evolution from 13 billion years, out of a random probability life started, and we evolved into human beings. Yeah.
But who created that first cell? The theory of evolution is, they say that initially there was one cell, and that cell got evolved into something else, like amoeba,
Right.
and then it got evolved into something else, and that something evolved into a bigger thing, that bigger thing evolved into a higher thing, and eventually human being. But how
Right.
did that first cell came about into existence? So they don't have an answer to that. Yeah. So, whereas we have a process and we have references, we have evidence, we have evidence of people who have seen the truth, and we have scriptural references where it is quoted in multiple places by multiple people, and we have a process to verify that also. It's not blind faith. We have a process to verify and get the realization to ourselves. So, whereas Big Bang theory, chance theory, evolution theory, there's no process to verify those. It's only a theory. There's no process to verify because it's not true. Why it doesn't have a process to verify is because it's not true. It's only some hypothetical theory. So, yeah.
Yeah, totally. I'll try to bring that conversation again sometime.
Yeah.
Maybe elaborate on any other points and try to get that spark for him. Maybe he'll start the inquiry.
Yeah. So when you present, some astonishing things in the nature, then they start thinking about it. For example, okay, let me ask you all, right? what's the most astonishing thing in the creation?
The human mind.
Human mind. Okay.
The universe itself, I think that was it, maybe.
The universe itself, and there are many things, and different people can think of different things as astonishing, but the most of astonishing thing. Okay, let's see. Let's look at everybody and see what else they think about. Ashok, what is most astonishing thing to you?
Prabhuji, I was from my DYS class. I remember hummingbird.
Hummingbird.
There is
Okay.
a specific. There is a species of hummingbird
Mhm.
which takes around like 3 grams of food,
Yeah.
and it can travel thousands of miles.
Uh-huh.
So there is not even a machine created by human
Mm.
where on 3 grams of fuel where we can travel thousands of miles.
Mm.
So like in device class, I remember I have to look at my notes where there are like a lot of examples given,
Uh-huh.
and I can quickly recollect the hummingbird example.
Yeah.
That's like astonishing thing because the scientists have done studies on hummingbird, its flight pattern,
Yeah.
but they are not able to create a machine similar to that.
Not able to replicate it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Madhuri, what is most astonishing to you in this creation?
I was thinking about like the perfect function of a human body, or like the perfect way in which Earth itself is
Mhm.
created. Like every organ, how it supports. Like I think basing on this, the actual manufacturing and production industries are also built. Is what I think. Like perfect. Like fuel that we take, how it's processed,
Yeah.
and how it's like converted into energy, which could be the product, or like how each organ works towards it. And the most beautiful thing out of it is human brain, like how it can make thousands or like millions of connections each day basing on the information it takes, and how it forms new neural connections and stuff. There's a lot about neuroscience that we can talk about. And yeah, how it like excretes the unnecessary things out of your human body, and everything works perfectly, and all we see outside is like just a perfect human being. But yeah, there are so many things that have to work in sync to make it work. And the similar way, Earth being such a perfect planet, air, water, and everything, um, like perfect temperature for human beings to survive, and everything. Maybe they human beings evolved to fit to the this weather, but so far in our solar system, or like anywhere near our solar systems, we could not find life as good. We are trying to find water, we are trying to find other stuff, but Earth being the perfect planet that it is, so yeah, it has everything that supports. Of course we are spoiling it, that's a different issue, but yeah, how it was like formed to support life so perfectly. So yeah, those are the two things that keep like yeah, I keep wondering how how perfect it has formed to yeah
Okay.
support. Yeah.
Venugopal. So
But
what's
is it on the
astonishing?
positive side or the negative side?
Huh?
Is it on the positive side or negative side?
No, anything astonishing is positive. You're astonished of, by seeing something great or something perfect, something amazing, something that amazes you.
So one thing that amazes me is these things, the summer, winter, they will come no matter the humans, they do the bad things. So
Yeah.
these things will come, every 3 months, every 4 months.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, so if they are dependent on human activities, we
Yeah.
won't even get the rain actually. So
Yeah.
these things I am amazed at.
Yeah. So because the universal laws are working so perfectly, the scientists are able to predict when is the winter coming, when is the summer coming, when is, sun setting, when is the sun rising, when is the lunar eclipse happening, solar eclipse happening. Because there is an order in the creation, scientists are able to predict. Without any order in the creation, let's say the universe is random and there is no order in the universe, then scientists cannot predict these things. So who created that order? Who is maintaining that order? Who is maintaining the movement of planets in their orbits with precision, with precise, speed? If they deviate even an inch, then there'll be a havoc. So who is maintaining that? Who is controlling that? So yeah, that's good. The seasons. Yeah. Okay, Swati, you still there?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. I was starting to cook for my son. Babies, when they are born, they are so perfect. The entire process of uh, kids developing in,
Yeah, exactly.
and it's beautiful. That is astonishing.
Yeah,
That is,
it's mind-boggling. From a small size of a peanut, or it's interesting. They describe the stages of pregnancy using these peanuts. Eventually, it goes to pumpkin, right? There is a peanut, pear. They use different fruits and vegetables. Starting
From grapefruit.
grapefruit. Yeah.
and
Starting
then all creatures are so perfectly, developing in their own way. When we have seen in school the lifespan of a butterfly,
Yeah.
or we have done those biology classes, and it simply amazes. Even the sprouts
Yeah.
in a science lab, when we have experimented and seen, even just life coming from, I mean, we have stored grains in our kitchen, and you put in water, you put in life forces, different life forces, and it just sprouts. It's
Yeah.
just beautiful. Those little tiny things are so,
Yeah.
yeah, perfect. It's perfect.
Aparna, what is most astonishing to it?
I think things I watch on like Discovery Channel, or there's all these things that happen in this animal kingdom and plant kingdom below the ocean.
Yeah.
All these different processes, like none of these animals need any teaching. They know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
How the reproduction, how to eat. There's no
Yeah. Who is supplying the food?
Food,
Yeah.
and nobody's like telling them to what to do.
Yeah.
Everything is there.
Yeah.
So
There's no doctor to take care of them if
they
they.
know exactly what to do though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that always is true. And even nature itself, right? No one has to tell, 6 o'clock the sun has to go up.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's always that kind of, there's a force there to tell everything that has to be done.
Yeah.
Nothing goes above, nothing goes below, right? Everything is exactly.
Yeah.
So that precision is always what's.
Yeah. Exactly. So there is precision and order in the universe. The universal laws are working so perfectly that, in fact, everything is astonishing. If you introspect and look deep, everything is astonishing in the nature actually. So Rahul, did I ask you? Did you say anything?
Yeah, Prabhuji.
I forgot.
I said the human brain
Oh,
and
yeah.
the universe itself, but now I'm thinking, how does a small seed sprout into a 100-meter tree?
Gigantic tree, right?
Yeah, and like you said, everything is astonishing at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
If you look deep enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So for
Waking
me,
up in the morning itself is a great thing, right?
yeah, we waking up in the morning. Yeah.
The chemical processes and all the things that happen, but
Yes.
staying in the fact that we wake up,
Yeah.
actually is a miracle.
Yeah, that itself is a miracle. So for me, the most astonishing thing is our face. There are 7.8 billion people in the world, and every person's face is unique. Every person's face is unique. 7.8 billion people. Every person's face is unique. Unless there is a hand of an intelligent person, it's not possible to have such a great variegatedness and such a great distinguished variety. So yeah. So like that, there are so many astonishing things. So this is how you can poke that person and see, the problem with most of us is we look at things every day and we take them for granted, and we don't introspect, and we don't appreciate those things because we see them every day. We take them for granted. But if you ask questions like that, then that person will start answering, and then start thinking about these things. And then she will start, oh, okay, that makes sense. There must be an intelligent person behind all this. Otherwise, things cannot happen so perfectly. Things cannot happen so orderly,
I wanted to add one more thing, if I may.
Yeah.
I mean, even things like if you're thinking about somebody and 1 hour later they call.
Yeah.
Sometimes those things happen.
Telepathy.
Or telepathy, or you're thinking about somebody, they call, or somehow they get connected to you.
Yeah.
And you're thinking about something and they know exactly what you're trying to say, or even if you haven't said it in words, people understand sometimes.
So
Or
telepathy,
even miracles that you're really wanting something and you haven't done much about it, and it just shows up sometimes.
Manifesting is, yeah.
So these things happen even to people who don't believe in it.
Yeah.
It's how, and that has to happen with some connection that we are not physically seeing in our world.
Yeah. So this telepathy, I have a very personal experience, very good personal experience about that. It happens a lot between me and my daughter. So it's been happening since she was very young, like she was 4 or 5 years old. And I have maintained a journal. Every time it happens, I have been maintaining a journal, making a note of the details of that incident. So there were innumerable, at least not innumerable, there are at least 10 or 20 incidents like this, where telepathy happened between me and my daughter. So like I think something and I want to tell that to my daughter, but something gets distracted and I don't tell her. And on the same day, after some time, she tells me the same exact thing. So we have many cases like that. Yeah.
This happens to me like I think it's God giving me the answer sometimes, Prabhuji. Like I have some very big doubt or confusion, or like I'm going through some anxiety, and I ask in my mind, why is this happening to me, or like why am I feeling this kind of anxiety or fear? And immediately I open some social media thing, and some quote regarding the same thing, or some post about someone posts something exactly answering that
Yeah.
related question, or like something happens, and I feel extremely calm after that, or like I feel okay, that could be one thing or my question or doubt is clarified, or yeah. This happened to me like many times. And also this telepathy happens, like I think about some person and they get to know it, either they text me back or like I text them, or maybe they I mean they had telepathy and I text them, and they immediately mentioned that I was thinking about you or something like that. And yeah, this happened to me so many times.
So,
Sometimes even 5 minutes before you're meeting somebody, you're thinking about them. I mean, you would have come. I always, um, I don't even happen to know that I'll see somebody on maybe in a shop or out somewhere, and I would have thought about them 10 minutes before, and then 10 minutes later I see them. I'm like, it has to be there has to be some way of giving us signs, even when somebody close in the family is going to be sick or is going away. Somewhere you find that those answers too ahead of time to give you that.
So like this, Rahul, just now on this call itself, you have 10-20 points. You can ask all these things. First ask her to come up with a list of astonishing things. If she does not tell, then you give the list of these things and ask her, who do you think is making these things happen? Are they happening randomly, so perfectly, with so much great order in the universe, or there is intelligence being behind? So at least it will increase her inquisitiveness, and she starts thinking about it.
Yeah, probably, definitely.
So okay, I think we can end the call here. It's 7:36. Thank you everyone for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, we'll figure
Hare
out
Krishna.
next class. Okay, I'll send a
Hare
message.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.